Is the UK becoming a big brother state? Brick card just dropped and everybody's losing their minds. But here's what nobody's talking about. The money. £400 million to build, 10 million every year to run. All taxpayer funded for a free app that tracks your every move, free for you, but paid for by you. See the game?
Tony Blair's brainchild, his little baby, for everyone to have a digital ID to push us to the 2030 Great Reset, where you have digital IDs, digital currency, and you will own nothing, and you will be happy, guys, because they will have everything they wanted to know about you in a single ID, and it's around the corner.
By 2029, everybody in the UK must have a digital ID if you want to work and do other things. If you don't get the brick card, you won't be able to work. You won't be able to travel. And if you can't work, you can't buy food. If you can't buy food, you can't survive. This sounds like something out of Revelations, like the mark of the beast.
Then there'll be some sort of crisis, like a pandemic or a war or whatever. They go, right, unless you've got the digital ID card, you can't access these resources or attend these facilities or whatever it'll be. And then it will never go back to normal. Same as it never quite went back to normal after 9/11, never quite went back to normal after COVID, never quite went back to normal after 2008. They slowly escalate the tensions, legitimise the authority until you don't notice that you're not free anymore. You're not free. You're not able to be who you really are.
It's about an agenda. It's about desensitizing us, desensitizing the masses to lean more comfortably into the beast system, where you will have to have the mark of the beast to either sell or to buy. You will not be able to do or buy anything unless you have this mark. It started with the COVID card, the COVID vaccination card.
I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
The snake has finally taken his mask off, and we see what the real reason of this illegal immigration has been about all along. Tony Blair's brainchild, his little baby, for everyone to have a digital ID to push us to the 2030 Great Reset, where you have digital IDs, digital currency, and you will own nothing, and you will be happy, guys, because they will have everything they wanted to know about you in a single ID, and it's around the corner. He could deal with this issue. He could say every illegal migrant who comes into the UK has to wear a police collar on their ankle. We will know where you are at all times until your asylum is dealt with. But no, rather than deal with the 30 to 50,000 people he says are coming across, he wants to deal with the 13 million adults in the UK who are legal citizens of this country, have driver's licenses, have passports already. You can check out who we are if you want to, but no, we've all got to have a digital ID. Tony Blair must be sat in his little EU mansion having an absolute party tonight as Sir Keir Starmer once again separates himself from the British people. Guys, I cannot tell you how concerning this is right now. Oh, it's going to stop crime and police will know who everyone is. No, sadly not. It's not going to do that. You stop crime by teaching people integrity, honesty, good values, and then there won't be crime in society. What you don't do is you allow crime to go right through the country, tell the police to do their two-tier policing and not enforce criminal activities, and then make all the legal citizens take a digital ID. This, guys, is the first real step forward of this government to stealing your freedom and taking every bit of information they've got about you into an ID so they can take ultimate control. Guys, it's coming. Wake up. Time to smell the coffee.
You from society if you don't play ball. Because at the moment, if I go into the local shop and I go, all right, mate, yeah, blah, blah, food, blah, blah, go, okay, my card doesn't work. All right, there is money on it. I mean, we've all been there. Card doesn't work. Oh, that's annoying. All right, well, I've got some cash. Bosh. Fine, I've got it. If you take cash away and it's gone, and it's what they want to do, and they did it through COVID, didn't they? They gave people the excuse to stop taking cash all of a sudden, when that was illegal before. You had to take it because it was legal tender. Since COVID, it's fine, yeah, we don't take cash, we're cashless now. Suddenly, the state can control whether you can eat, what you can do. That's huge. It can control where you can go, where you can spend your money. So, you know, I can go in and go into a grocery store. Everything's attached to my digital ID. All of my money, everything is there. My compliance score, the whole lot of it is all on there. And if I want to go and buy a couple of rump steaks, well, no, you had steak last week, son. All right, it won't let me buy that then. And people think that's far-fetched. They think that the idea of that is crazy. And then you say, well, you do know in China that millions of people aren't allowed to use public transport because their social credit score is too low. and they look at you with a fluoride stare of like, no way. Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
And that is exactly the world that they want for the rest of us.
We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
It's all to do with immigration. They've actually created the situation of immigration as an excuse to bring in digital ID. Now people say, oh yeah, but ID cards, it'd be a great thing. But that's not where it stops. It keeps on going. Because once you have digital ID, that will also be on your phones, that your digital ID will be linked to your bank accounts, it's linked to your electric cars, it's linked to your smart meter, it's linked to everywhere. So that if you don't pay your bills, if you're not a good citizen, just like on Black Mirror, you won't be able to drive in your car. You won't be able to have access to your accounts. You won't be able to go shopping. I'm out in France. I've got no idea the extent of what's happening in the UK. And I was talking to my brother who was saying about in Morrison's in the UK supermarket, you now have ID, you now have face recognition all over. And you have cameras everywhere, and you can see the little squares following you all over the shop. And also when you get to the till, your face is scanned. He went into the shop, he wanted to get out of the shop without buying anything, and he couldn't. The door stopped him because he hadn't purchased. And he said, how do they know that I've not purchased? Or why can't I get out of the shop because I haven't purchased? So that with digital ID, it will mean that you won't be able to shop. If you're not being a good girl or a boy, you can't have what you want. And then you'll get in your electric car, but you won't be able to drive more than 15 minutes because we'll have the 15-minute cities. And at those 15-minute cities, you'll have your face scanned. And if you've not been a good little girl or a little boy, you can't go past that point. So they're creating these 15-minute cities to have everything within 15 minutes. You can have your work, you can have your shops, etc. And it's why, and I see this in France especially, they're driving everybody into the metropoles, into the main cities, out of the countryside. I live out in the country. I live in the middle of nowhere. And I see that the nearest small towns are dying because they're driving people into the cities because that's where they can control. If you're living outside, move out to the country because that's where you can have self-sufficiency. You don't have to have your digital ID. You can survive without it. Don't buy electric cars. We don't have a smart meter because as well with smart meters, if you've not been a good little girl or a boy, your smart meter will be switched off and you won't have electricity. Everything is going to be controlled with just one press of a button. And it's like this thing of this boil the frog. You put the frog in cool water and you slowly warm the water up and the frog has no idea he's been boiled alive.
So look at this. You're in London, you're on a business trip, you're staying in Greenwich, and you want to buy some food. So you go into the local Aldi's, like this one, and you think, I'm going to go in here and buy some food so that I can feed myself. And then you approach the barrier, and look, you can't even get in the shop without having the QR code to scan here. Or to scan here, and then you can go in and buy things. Now this looks to me like the beginning stages of the digital prison that we keep talking about. What do you think?
Is the UK becoming a big brother state? Brick card just dropped and everybody's losing their minds. But here's what nobody's talking about. The money. £400 million to build 10 million every year to run, all taxpayer funded for a free app that tracks your every move, free for you, but paid for by you. See the game? While 24,000 people are signing petitions, governments are building it anyway. Here's what smart money is doing instead. Learning digital privacy tools, VPNs, encrypted messaging, decentralized finance, building multiple income streams that don't rely on traditional employment checks, investing in assets that the government can't easily track or control. Because we've seen this before. China's social credit system and India's Aadhaar proved this is the future. You can't stop it, but you can prepare for it. We need to be solution focused, guys. Master the digital economy before it masters you. The question isn't about whether or not we like Brickcard. It's whether we'll be ready when cash becomes code.
Y'all, this shit is crazy, fool. What the UK just proposed, it got the whole world on alert. Everybody looking like, what the fuck? By 2029, everybody in the UK must have a digital ID if you want to work and do other things. If you don't get the brick card, you won't be able to work. You won't be able to travel. And if you can't work, you can't buy food. If you can't buy food, you can't survive. This sounds like something out of Revelations, like the mark of the beast. Y'all, and the crazy part is, if this shit work, or if they allow it to happen in the UK, and it's working out, expect other countries to start doing it. Maybe Europe first, and then it might come to America, then it might go to Asia. Everywhere might adopt it, and we might be fucked. I feel like that shit just gonna start being like a domino effect. Y'all trying to tell me this shit don't sound like Black Mirror? Exactly. The government system that controls what you do, what you eat, where you at, who you are. The only thing is, this time it's not fiction. This shit happening in real time. You already got people saying hackers finna be licking their chops because they gonna be hacking into shit. This is all I gotta say about it, y'all. Do not play their game. Y'all must speak up right now, sign petitions, spread the word. Do not give in. If the UK can somehow stop this by doing petitions and other stuff, y'all know what I'm talking about? We can most likely stop it from happening everywhere. We need to do something now, because once it's going everywhere, we're gonna be short. We're gonna be out of luck. And the question I gotta ask is, if and when it comes to a country near you, are you gonna comply? What do you wanna do? Y'all gotta act right now. Make some calls, sign some petitions, do some, yeah.
Right, imagine what they'll do is they'll introduce this digital ID and they're like, it's going to be good migration, it's going to be helpful, convenient, it's going to be convenient and safe. Then there'll be some sort of crisis like a pandemic or a war or whatever. They go, right, unless you've got the digital ID card, you can't access these resources or attend these facilities or whatever it'll be. And then it would never go back to normal. Same as it never quite went back to normal after 9/11, never quite went back to normal after COVID, never quite went back to normal after 2008. They slowly escalate the tensions, legitimize the authority until you don't notice that you're not free anymore. You're not free. You're not able to be who you really are. Indeed, one might even argue that identity politics is just an extraordinary pageant around freedom. I want to be something different. This isn't who I am. You better believe it ain't who you are. You were made to love God, and you're being used to serve Satan.
If you think this is only going to be enforced in the UK, please have a seat. I will hold your hand. These are the signs of the times. We've been trying to tell y'all, and we will continue to try to tell y'all until Jesus judges this earth, because that day is coming. Do you see the times we are living in? Now they must use digital ID. Actually, one of my sisters lives over there in Europe, in Sweden, and it has been enforced. A lot of that digital ID and digital payment, like that has already been a major thing over there. If you haven't noticed, it is getting serious, and now it's getting to a place where there will be no other choice. It is not truly about making things easier for us. No, it's about an agenda. It's about desensitizing us, desensitizing the masses to lean more comfortably into the beast system, where you will have to have the mark of the beast to either sell or to buy. You will not be able to do or buy anything unless you have this mark. It started with the COVID card, the COVID vaccination card. That stuff has started with a lot of things. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Every time I see stuff, I'm like, wow, they're not holding back. And y'all thought we were lying. We were crazy Christians. We were just making up stuff. But the Bible has shown itself to be true time after time after time after time. And it will continue to show itself until every knee bows and confesses that Jesus is Lord. The devil is real, and so is Jesus. Do not think that this is the mark of the beast, though. This is a precursor, only a precursor. This is just a tool, okay? This is not going to be the actual mark of the beast. If you still feel uncomfortable utilizing this new system, that's totally fine, but it's not something that will damn you or the next person to hell. Like, the mark of the beast is something that is irreversible. So if you were to take the mark, you will be damned, okay? You will be hellbound, okay? And you're done. But this is a test run. It's just another one. We are here, people. Get ready for that ride. It's coming. It's coming everywhere.
So Stormer has just released that all adults in the UK, they now need a digital ID because, none of us have any ID, do we? We don't have passports or driving licence. Folks, if you cannot see the corruption, if you can't see what's being rolled out in front of you right now, God says my people are being destroyed because of their lack of knowledge. So many people are blind. You just don't know the truth. And the simple thing is, you don't read the Bible. If you are looking for answers right now, you are going to find it in the Bible. In Revelations, I've said it so many times, we're living out the last book of the Bible. Revelations chapter 13 verse 16, it says, he required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead, and no one could buy or sell anything without the mark. Right here, as you can see, everybody wants now to pay by cards. They want a cashless society. This isn't a book that was written over 2,000 years ago, and now it's coming to pass, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name. Wisdom is needed here. God is telling us, folks, we need to be so wise. Let the one with understanding solve the meaning of the number of the beast. It is the number of a man, and the number is 666. I remember my dad telling me this over 30 years ago. He says, Fiona, don't ever get the marking of the beast. Don't ever let them chip you. They'll put it in your forehead or your hand. Don't do it. And I remember thinking, your head's cut. He thinks we're like dogs that we're going to get chipped. Like, how come something that over 2,000 years ago was wrote when there was no such thing as digital IDs, there was no such things as these kind of mobiles? God has made it very, very clear to us that we need wisdom right now. Stormer, we have ID, we have passports, we have driving licence. People, start getting into the Word of God, because God's very clear that we're being destroyed because we don't have wisdom. If you're looking for truth, you'll not find it on social media, you'll not find it in the government and people like that, because there's so many of them corrupt. Right now, the Word of God is the truth. And like, tell them we have IDs, we've got passports.
So right now, our nation is in uproar. The government is pushing through these digital ID cards, and the Prime Minister has said it won't be optional if you want to work before his tenure ends. And I've just had a little look at the landscape of social media, and for many it's very frightening. But for those who read the Bible, it's also very familiar. Revelation talks about a time when no one will be able to buy or sell without a specific mark. Whether this is that moment or just another step towards it, the message is very clear. The world is heading exactly where God said it would. But here's what you need to hear. Our hope isn't in fighting systems, although there's a place for that, or in fear in the future. Our hope is in knowing Jesus. Because when pressure comes, and it will come, only those who stand on him will not be shaken. Honestly, guys, life is so short. Everything we value, be it status, money, the government, success, all these things are subject to change, but Christ will never change. He's the only treasure that doesn't fade, and the only foundation that holds when everything else shakes. He is the one who gives meaning now and hope beyond the grave. And so I'm not here to stir up any fear. I'm here to actually extend an invitation to you. If you don't know Jesus, call upon him today. If you've wandered away from your faith, come home, because tomorrow isn't promised, and waiting will only harden your heart. Now is the moment to walk with him, because in Jesus, you don't just find peace for what's coming. You find forgiveness for your past, purpose for your present, and also hope for what's to come. He is life, and I've experienced that firsthand. He is strength, and he is the anchor that will never fail you.